Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And here I have a great article for you guys straight from T-Mobile's newsroom. I'll leave a link to it in the description so you guys can check it out. So, even after the close of the Sprint and T-Mobile merger, there was still a deal that needed to be discussed, that needed to be closed, and that was between T-Mobile and Shentel. And those assets, and Shentel was also deploying some of these Sprint assets and towers that they were using the Sprint Band 41 at the time, 2.5 spectrum. So that has, of course, since it took a while after the merger to get that all sorted out. But since then, that has been sorted out. That deal closed, and T-Mobile was able to go to work immediately in West Virginia, building out and integrating the network. And a large part of that is now complete. It's now done. So T-Mobile didn't have to build this all natively. They got a lot of these Sprint keep sites or Shentel keep sites, whatever you want to call them. And they were able to convert them and add the T-Mobile spectrum and equipment. And that took about $200+ million in completed network upgrades for West Virginia. So we'll check this out here. Real brief. Just want to cover that here. So through a merger with Sprint in 2020, T-Mobile has made a massive commitment to improve internet connectivity and mobile service for rural and small towns of America. In 2021, T-Mobile doubled down on its commitment to West Virginia when it finalized the acquisition of Shentel Wireless. Again, the merger closed in 2020. It took about a whole nother year to close that acquisition. One of the primary mobile service providers in West Virginia. Since then, the Un-carrier has invested an additional $200 million to upgrade 5G service via 377 new towers and upgrades to 121 existing towers. So these are the results. So this is big for the state. 100% of interstate highways in West Virginia are serviced with T-Mobile's 5G. 90% of West Virginia now have T-Mobile 5G access, up 30%. Or 500,000 people in just 2 years. So they did that in about a 24-month period. So they grew massively in that state. 70% of West Virginians now have access to ultra capacity 5G, which delivers median download speeds of 99.98 megabits per second statewide, 41% faster than in 2021. So they continue to improve and increase. Greatly expanded backup power sources to ensure redundancy in case of severe weather or other emergencies that may impact mobile service. T-Mobile is the fastest provider in the state of West Virginia, according to third-party experts at Ookla. So this is big. This is big. And like I said, I'll leave the article in the description for you guys to check it out. Also, T-Mobile's 5G home internet service is now available to 400,000 homes across that state, providing an option for fast, reliable home internet that's easy to set up, has no annual contract or hidden fees. So there's that. So, off of the back of the root metrics reports that came out this morning, T-Mobile didn't do so well on those. If you're into the overall wins and the overall scores, they did improve, but they still lag behind, especially at the state level. They still lag behind the competition, which is fine, right? T-Mobile is, even though the merger is almost 4 years closed, the integration is largely done. T-Mobile is still looking to close or level the playing field, I should say. So even though T-Mobile is pushing the whole narrative that they have the largest 5G, they have the best 5G, T-Mobile is just simply looking to compete and level the playing field. You got to remember, Verizon and AT&T during LTE have been spending a similar capital that they're spending in 5G. So they have been investing in those states, or at the state level, I should say, for many, many years prior to T-Mobile even existing and having coverage in any of those states. So T-Mobile still has to work through those states, build redundancy, build like the backup generators that's discussed in this article, build additional sites to get better site spacing, which is going to improve reliability and speeds and coverage and everything. So T-Mobile is still working through that. They're not done. That takes time. That takes time and a lot of investment. In the state, like, just for an example, in that 2-year period in West Virginia since 2021 and now being 2024, T-Mobile spent $200+ million to upgrade all of those sites that you saw in this article. I think it was 377 new sites, 121 existing upgrades. For an example, AT&T, for those of you who remember, they were posting similar statistics. Like from 2017 to 2019, AT&T spent $900 million in Texas. They were posting the same statistics during the first net deployments. And they were spending more than T-Mobile. So T-Mobile has a lot of catching up to do. So it's really in T-Mobile's best interest, the way that they're fighting, the way that they're gaining perception, the way that they're growing the company. It's really just in their best interest not to become the best national wireless player, but just to be competitive enough and level the playing field. That works for the company. They don't spend a huge, robust CapEx. They don't. They want to, even in 2024, as they continue to accelerate their wireless growth, the home broadband growth, they grow in the addressable markets, they grow in business. They are saying between the 9 to 10 billion of the CapEx run rate, they are saying they're going to come in at the lower end of the 9 billion. So they don't even plan on, at least until we get the official guidance on January 25th, they haven't even planned to increase their capital. And I think that would be an easy sell to the street because they're growing at an exceptional rate. I think they could easily do 10 to 11 billion or 11 to 12 billion and it not affect any of their numbers. They're already outpacing their free cash flow guidance that they set for 2026. They're going to outpace that in the next 24 months. So I don't know what the big deal is with the CapEx. They want to do fiber. They want to do the small cells. They now want to accelerate this build. You know, the backup generators and all that. That costs money. That costs a lot of money. And I would feel comfortable. They're going to get a lot done. T-Mobile's going to get a lot done at the 9 to 10 billion mark. We know that. But I would feel more comfortable if they got to a range of 11 to 12, maybe 10, 11. That would be fine with that because they're not doing fiber owned and operated. But 9 to 10, especially saying they're going to come in at the lower end, and if that comes true, I mean, at that point, they're only spending $4 billion more than they did as a standalone. And now, I'm not saying $4 billion is a little bit of money. It's a lot of money, but you have to look and compare, right? Verizon is coming in at $17.5 billion. AT&T is still going to spend, even with their drop in CapEx, they're still going to be at 21 billion. So it's just going to be interesting to keep track of this. But regardless, T-Mobile is doing the thing. They're growing their presence. They're growing in small market rural areas. You're seeing it in this report. I've looked at some of the state scores on root metrics. They're improving at the state level. They're not anywhere close to the competition, but they're improving. They're improving by 4 points in this state, 5 points in this state. It matters. It just simply matters for the company and their goals. They want to achieve them. And like I said, I don't think they need to stress about being the best across the board, because in order to be the best, you gotta spend the most and do the most. And right now they're just not doing that. But I very well see them executing very well. As I mentioned in the video yesterday, they are the best at executing. Their stock today came in at an all-time high. They're continuing to grow. They're taking share now in those addressable markets. So that is hurting AT&T and Verizon. So even at the 9 to 10 billion, even if they come in at the lower end, the 9 billion, as they stated in a preview recently or a teaser, they're still going to do numbers. They are still going to grow. The stocks are still performing at an all-time high. They're still taking share. They're still competing very well on these third-party reports. And as per root metrics, T-Mobile is improving at the state level. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you're new to the channel, like, share, subscribe, follow my social media outlets. This is Tyrone with Tech Life. See y'all in the next one. Peace.